So, dear Michael, what can you tell us about No More Mr. Nice Guy, either the book and the limited edition box set?
Okay, well, the box set, I think it was released a month ago or so, maybe more. A limited edition, they have a CD in there of interview I did back in '96, some collectibles, a signed certificate, and they did 250, and they're gearing up to release the book and just the book by itself, and you can get it. You can get it with. I think we're going to have, if you want, the live in Iceland show that I recorded with Ingo and his brother Silly, and then it'll be available in the States. And then, like I told, I have put together a band with my wife Lynn playing bass and some great players. Another guitar player is amazing, and a singer that's amazing, and a drummer that's amazing. And we're going to be I'm Michael Bruce, and they're the Texas Chainsaw Ballet. There's a story, about No More Mr. Nice Guy, the song.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote that. I think it was about. We did Schools Out, and then I think Killer. I wrote that before Killer was done, and during Killer, and then I guess it was between Schools Out and Killer. Mm-hmm. It just wouldn't work with the albums. The songs were too different. And by $1 Billion Babies, then it's bright and shiny and airy, and that song fit then. So, but it's been around. It was in, I had written it back in After Love It to Death.
Did you enjoy working on Welcome to My Nightmare and Paranormal by Alice Cooper? How does it feel to work with the original group after so many years?
Well, Neil and I had played several times together, and I had played over the years with Dennis, and I played both with Neil and Dennis. Not so much because they were out in Connecticut, and I'm out here in Arizona. But we did get together from time to time and play. Neil has a house or a condo in Arizona, so he's out here now, and he'll stay till about April and May, and we get together and play together. The sequel to Welcome to My Nightmare, it was a lot of fun. I came to New York, and my only regret was that Alice, in my particular song, it lost some of the dynamics. I think he tells the whole story about when Hell Comes Home, and having so much of the dynamic parts and changes filled in with the vocal story, I think it kind of lost a little bit. It was people tell me they thought it was the best song on the album. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's amazing, and we miss something new from Michael Bruce. You are always busy playing gigs. Can we expect a new solo recording by Michael Bruce?
Yes, absolutely. That's what we're working on that right now. You asked me about Paranormal. It was great to get together with Bob, and we got to spend more time this time, and we came up with some songs for the album. But it's always great to play with Neil and Dennis and Alice, except a lot of it, he records other places with other people, so I don't really know what the rest of the album is. I only know what about the songs that we're playing, Neil, Dennis, and I.
What about your solo stuff? Will you write something in the style of In My Own Way or Rock Roll Song and so on?
I think I'm going to go for a little bit more, hard, a little harder, not real,
Okay.
It'll still have some melodic things, some melodic ballads and whatnot, but I think I'm going to go a little farther than In My Own Way, closer to what I did with Alice Cooper.
And how does it feel to be inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
It was great, but I wish they hadn't taken so long.
Okay.
It's like, well, I guess I just should be happy that it happened, and, better late than never.
Which are your best and worst memories from the early days in the Alice Cooper group?
Well, one of the great times was we were on tour somewhere. We were driving down the highway, and I remember I'm 18 came on. That was pulled the car over and got out of the car and listened and going, wow, it's on the radio. We had to pinch ourselves to make sure we weren't dreaming.
And what about like bad memories? Are there any?
Yeah, it's not so much as bad memories, but like some things you wanted to do that were unfulfilled. We didn't move on, because Alice started a solo career, and it took a while to get, back to feeling okay about it. I think in time, if Alice hadn't gone on to do solo stuff, we probably would have only done one more album, because just people were in the band. It took a lot of time to build up sort of some I wouldn't say bad feelings, but some things, and it also took a lot of time for it to be healed. But I'm glad we we protested and told our stories, but we didn't get a lawyer, and we didn't try to do a lawsuit, because we knew that it pretty much would be over, if we did. And I'm kind of glad we didn't do that. And
which is the album you wrote, you feel like closest to your soul?
Ooh, well, Love It to Death is very close, and so is Muscle of Love. And that's a hard question, because there's some songs in each one of the albums that at the time were, just my favorites that I had written. It's like, which one of your children do you love the most? It's a hard question.
And do you feel nowadays technology and the internet are a hazard or a benefit for young bands trying to promote their music? Was it easier back in the days, in your opinion?
I don't think so, because you had to do everything in person. You could go in and record something and and send it in the mail, but you always had to be there and do it and be able to perform it right then. Now you can, with technology, you can sample and cut and paste and produce stuff that you wasn't really a completed song. Perhaps maybe it was just a few notes, and then you pasted it together with some girl screaming, and then you know what I mean. But I like the home record. I like to be able to digitally record at home. That's great.
Yeah, and which suggestions would you give to younger musicians who want to do music nowadays?
Well, number one, don't quit your day job. Keep working on the side. And the other thing is, don't name your band after the lead singer.
Okay.
That's asking for trouble.
Okay. It's a bad omen.
Yeah, it's like when Pink Floyd went to court, Roger Waters became Pink, but it didn't work out. How many players are in your band, Mugshot? How many players are there?
It's 5.
Lead singer, guitar, bass and drums?
Lead singer, guitar, bass, drum, and keyboards.
Fantastic. Back in the early days, I liked it because I could, have my guitar hanging around my neck, and also I could play keyboards too. That was kind of neat. Did you happen to hear Battle Axe, the album? The one that Neil and Dennis and I did without Alice?
Battle Axe, yeah, the 1977 album. Yeah.
There's a song on there, a ballad called "Rock Me Slowly," and that I had a baby grand piano when we were rehearsing, brought up to the house, and I would play it all the time. And I sat down and wrote the words and music at the same time, and that's not usually the case. Usually, maybe the music comes first, but when it happens together, it's very special. Usually, like I've got some songs, they're just instrumentals for a long time, maybe, and until I find some lyrics that fit, just right the mood and are fresh. And sometimes I don't find them, and they're still instrumentals.
And could you like send out a final message to the Italian fans of Michael Bruce?
Sure. I wish all the beautiful people from Italy, you have a wonderful country. I can't wait to come and play for you. And thank you for being such great fans to the Alice Cooper Group. And I hope that someday you'll be able to listen to Michael Bruce music while you're drinking a fine wine and having Italian pastry. Arrivederci.